Hi once again, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of CueSports International, we'd like to welcome you to the final day of the 2015 U.S. Open 8-Ball Championships. Coming to you live here from the Predator Arena at the Rio Hotel in Las Vegas, the home of the U.S. Open 8 and 10-Ball Championships and the home of the BCA Pool League's National 8-Ball Championship. Our event is sponsored by Predator, the official cue of the U.S. Opens, Kamui, our official tip, and Omega Billiard Supply, our official store. We also want to recognize, as you see at the bottom of your screen, all our great associate sponsors, starting with the Rio Hotel, our most gracious hosts here for the past 3 years, Diamond Billiard Products, Simonis Cloth, Cyclop Pool Balls, the Magic Rack, and Bad Boys Billiard Productions, our great tournament direction team. Thank you to all those companies for their support of CSI events. And we have a 5th, 6th place match for you right now. Dennis Orcollo versus John Morra. Dennis is racking the balls. And we will tell you a little bit about him. And then we'll tell you a little bit about John as well when he comes to the table. Dennis is sponsored by Tiger Products. And he is from Bislig Surigao del Sur in the Republic of the Philippines. And he has a long, long list of accomplishments destined for the Hall of Fame, without question. Dennis is 36 years old, so in a few more years, when he's 40, he will be eligible, and he's going to break here in rack number 1. I'd also like to say good morning and afternoon to my great friend and co-commentator, Bobby Cotton.
Good morning, Ken. It's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Bobby. He did yeoman service last night.
Wait, look, he's changed his breath. Oh, look at this. Oh,
well, he's going to change it back the next time if he does that.
Look, I hate to laugh. You know, it's the weird part about it is he's been breaking the bat all tournament, and he was practicing a while ago. Now his first break, he scratches in the side. He's ready to shoot himself. Look, he's like, dude. I can't help but laugh. You know, it's just weird. It's just weird. He's been practicing the break for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he sprint breaks.
Unbelievable.
I hate to laugh. I'm not pulling against him. It's just
funny.
No,
it's kind of it's the way the things have gone all week here. Well, John Morra at the table with a great start, ball in hand. I kind of like the solids here, starting with the 1 and then the 7. All the solids seem to have room. By the way, if you were watching the loop before and we had to cut that off in order to get going here, Jason Shaw did pull that match out 9-8 against Tony Robles. Of course, both of them are long gone now, but we didn't want you to not at least know how that thing finished out, especially after Jason was 4-0 down. But back over here, John is...
we got to move the 5 soon.
I think he can go to the 2 right now in the side and then the 5.
Yeah.
It's a little too hard. He needs a big bump.
Boom.
Well, he's kind of okay, but not the angle he wanted.
He's really jammed. He only can shoot the 7.
Yeah.
That's it. That was an unlikely little...
Well, the 4 goes in the pocket where John was just standing, but I think he's going to try to get to the 5 now, and that would probably mean 2 rails at the 8 ball with the cue ball. Don't hit the 5, John. Oh, boy. Oh, well, he got awfully lucky to put it there. I don't think that was the plan at all.
No. That is really a fortunate roll there, because that could have rolled up behind them balls.
You bet. I'm surprised he even came that close to the ball. He's got to be a little more cautious about that. But John's from Toronto, Canada. I'd go to the 3 if I could here. He may not. That's okay. I mean, you can take these 3 off any way you want. Stop, 2 in the side, follow forward, 3 in the corner, stop, 8. Could do it that way. John is playing with a Falcon Q. That's one of his sponsors, along with Hustlin, USA Clothing Company, and Kings of Vapor. John,
Kings of Vapor, that's one of the things you smoke?
It's the electronic cigarettes. They're out of New York, but they've sponsored, they sponsor a good half dozen or more of the pro players that I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they smoke the thing?
I don't know. You know, normally you use the product that you're sponsored by. But I'm not sure to what extent. But I happened to meet the owner of that company a few years ago at Derby when he first started to support the pool players. His name is Chad. He's a great guy, and we appreciate him supporting Pro Pool. So John, couldn't ask for a better start. A win on Dennis's break in rack number 1. John Morra is a former 10-time Canadian national champion in multiple disciplines: 8-ball, 9-ball, and 10-ball. Yeah, 10 times John has been the Canadian national champion in all 3 of those disciplines. And he was the first man ever, and he did it this year in 2015. He won all 3 divisions in the same year, 8-ball, 9-ball, and 10-ball this year. First man ever to do that north of the border. He's also the 2011 U.S. Bar Table 8-ball champion, so he's no stranger to 7-foot 8-ball table play. But one thing also I'll mention right after he breaks. Notice how far under his left eye that cue is. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more when we get better shots at him during the match. But he is also the 2012 Derby City Classic Bank Pool champion, and a lot of people don't know what a great bank pool player this guy is. He has participated in many of the Derby City Bank Pool ring games and had some strong finishes. He's never won one, but he sure scared a lot of people. So if he has to come with any kind of cross sides, cross corners, or straight backs here, he's going to be a favorite to make them. And he's also a terrific young person. He just has great respect for the game and his opponents, and we could use a few more like him. I kind of wish he was American because I'd like him on the Moscone Cup team. But
yeah, for sure.
Anyway, looks like stripes are the choice here. He's got that one stripe, the 13 there by the 2-6 on the right long rail. He's going to have to go at maybe right now because he's got 2 insurance balls. Yep, that's the thing to do, John. Good job. Is he going to get a shot? Ooh, boy. Can he make that 11 up there, Bobby?
Yeah, it looks like he's straight in, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, you can see he looks like he's hooked on the 10 in the side. And if he can't play the 11, he don't have a shot. I think he made the right decision.
Man, he's like about a hair's away, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's going to try to jump it, I think.
Yeah, he played the right shot to open that ball up. I mean, it's really unfortunate. He had 2 insurance balls, the one next to the cue ball and the 10 on the side. But if he doesn't make this,
I don't like trying to masse it. I like just jumping it.
Yeah, he's only got a little of the 8 to go over. Oh man, how much better could you have hit that than that?
Yeah, he sure did.
You know, 3-4 days ago that had gone in.
Mm-hmm.
But the table's tightened up quite a bit here. And, of course, he hit it with a little bit of speed. Then it's going to start with the 4 ball. The 3 in the side will allow Dennis to then play the 6 because there's plenty of room between the 2 and the 6. So it might be 4-1, 3 in the side, and then the 6 ball. The 2 will go in either corner. It'll pass the 11 up there, not by much, but it will go. But I got to believe that's his pattern is 4-1-3 here to get started. But Dennis is kind of got his own agenda a lot of times at the table. He's looking at the combo right off the bat. I don't really know that there's any great advantage to doing that. So let's see what he decides to do.
Well, I wouldn't shoot the combination now under no circumstance.
No.
Not when he has some, he can get on the 6 easy.
Yeah. Didn't even need to wait to get to the 3, and I kind of like that better because the 2, once he gets the 6 out of there, Bobby, the 2 will take him to the 7 ball. I think he's going to go 3-1 next. Needs to go a little bit more.
50-yard line.
Kind of.
Boy, he hit that ball a little weak.
Yeah, I don't think he can slow roll it and kind of stay there, for the 1 deep. I wonder if he's going to have to try to go kind of behind the 9 ball.
He's going behind the 9, but I don't think he can shoot. I don't think he can shoot easy enough to stay on the 1.
I think he can kill it with inside here. That's what he did.
Oh, he did. He hit it good.
Yeah. But too much angle to go to the deuce. You might have to just slide down here for the 7 and then swing out 2 rails for the deuce. And he's got to probably dig down a little here to miss the 10.
Look at this shot. If I was going to shoot this, I would shoot over and try to float over and shoot the 7 next. If I was going to shoot the 2,
yeah, but
I'd like to come over there.
Yeah, you'd have a big angle on it, which wouldn't be bad.
Better than trying to do this. I don't like this shot.
Well, I don't either.
This has to be hit perfect.
Yeah. Well, he's got no problem missing the 10. He don't want to be behind the 9 ball off the 2nd rail. Look out! Look out! What did I say, Bobby?
Telling you, that's why, last night me and Jay were talking. I said, Ken's the surgeon. Really?
Yeah.
You cut this rack like a skilled surgeon. That was a good call there.
Well, the speed of that shot kind of laid that's where he was going to be.
I know.
And I'm with you. I might have played the 2 and just come over.
I would have.
If he's going to play that ball.
Because the 1 goes in either corner.
Right, and a big angle on the 7 was going to be fine. He had plenty of room.
I would have went straight across and come by the diamond.
Right.
I would have never jacked my cue up.
No, he's going to have to jump the 9 now. Dennis is no stranger to championships on the small tables either. He's the 2013 U.S. Bar Table 10-ball champion, and he's the 2013 U.S. Bar Table all-around champion. And it's been a long time ago, but in 2006, up in Northern California, they had an event called the World Bar Table Championships, and he won that too. That was his 2nd big win in the USA after the Reno Open. I think he'll make this, but he may not have a shot at the 7. Well, that's a surprise. He's pretty adept with that short cue.
Look at this.
Yeah. Well, John's got the 13. And it looks like he will be able to get to the 11 eventually, either straight on it or rail first. but he's going to have to start with the 13 ball here and shoot a stop shot. And we might get a good angle here. I want you to pay attention if JB, when John shoots, can get a shot of John's, basically from his head. I want you to see how far John's cue is under his left eye. It's very, very pronounced. See how far to the left his cue is? Most players have it right under their chin. It's almost under his left ear. Thank you, John. Good work. Ooh. You wiggle that one in. But as I explained yesterday, John never started out playing like that. He's not a natural left-hander. He's not left-eye dominant. He just said that as he progressed through his early stages of his career and started to get better and better, it just kind of naturally evolved to where it is now, and he's found it to be the best place for his comfort, and he's certainly been successful with it. All right, I think you got to, I don't know if I do this.
I like this.
You do?
Yes.
Well, the 1 leaves the area and the 9
Exactly.
stays there. I see that, Bobby, and I think the only reason he's not going to the long rail with the cue ball to cut the 11 in is the 9. Right, then he's got to bump the 9.
That's right. If he bumps it, he might,
but the 1 might impede him from doing that. So you know something? I think you're right, and I think this is a smart selection. A little bit of speed. The 1 should leave the area, and the 9 should hit the side rail and come out. Right, he had to take the care to hit it firm enough to get the 9 out in space, and he's done that now. This to me looks like just a high ball. You don't need the inside check on it because you want to kind of hit between the corner pocket and the first diamond there on the short rail to come at the 9. Just a touch above center here, no English. See that? And that maintains the perfect line for the 9 ball. And it looks like he can pull the cue ball to his left to play the 8 in the lower right. If it passes in the lower left by the 7, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, look how far that cue is over.
It's kind of weird.
It is.
He'll make this one.
Oh yeah, he's not going to miss this ball. Watch how smooth he is through the ball. No head movement. Nice and still. Okay, the first 2 for John Morra. But John's biggest title to date was his Derby Bank Pool title, along with his U.S. Bar 10-ball title. And he would love nothing more than to add this big scalp to his resume and become a U.S. Open 8-ball champion.
Is Mike DeShane in the hot seat?
Yeah, he's going to play Rodney at 4 o'clock. Next, we've got the winner of this against Rafael Martinez.
Okay.
And that'll be the 4th place match. Then the winner of the 4th place match will sit for a round out while we play the hot seat at 4 between Mike and Rodney. The loser of the hot seat will play the winner of the 2 p.m. match in our semifinal at 6. And at 8 p.m. we will have the championship match, which will be 1 race to 11 games. John was also just a few weeks ago in Beijing, came in runner-up in the China Open, and that is a major, major event. So we want to add that to his list of accomplishments.
Dennis, he's so frustrated trying to figure out this. Look at Dennis.
Is that the same spot he broke first time?
I don't know why he don't break from being real like everybody.
Yeah. Well, second ball this time.
That's what we did last time.
Yeah. Better break. 6 on the side. That was a 7, but at least a ball down. You know, if the 3 goes, see the 3 between the two stripes?
The if
the 3 goes, I'm shooting the 5 first. I went with the 6 I'd leave for last, of course, because the 8 ball's right up there, and he's dead straight in on the 5. Thank you. Good camera work there, and it sure looks like that 3 goes, and he could stick right there for the deuce.
You said that too fast. That's what I was going to say.
Got to be quick, Bobby.
I'm telling you, pulled the trigger too quick. That's what I was going to shoot.
The care he has to take is to get nice and straight on the 3 so he doesn't rub any of those stripes. Why would he be looking at the 4 ball? Well, you know, with the lengthy list of accomplishments that this man's accumulated over his career, I'm not going to second guess anything he's going to do except for that. Don't shoot
he's got to
can't shoot the 4 ball.
He's got to make sure he makes that first ball.
Well, maybe he's worried about getting on the 4 later in the rack. You know? But he could get there off the 1, you know, 5-3-2-1 or 5-3-2-4. But if he's shooting it now, it's because he doesn't want to have to go to it later. And that makes sense. Well, now he's got a problem. Now he's got a problem.
He's just
he's kind of laughing a little bit.
He has to laugh.
Yeah, but
I would have been shot that ball first. You got to get going. You know what I mean?
Especially down to nothing.
Yeah, you got to get going. You got to get going.
Get your arm loose, right?
Yeah, you got to run some balls.
I don't know. Can he get there rail first for the 6? He'd just have to spin it. He can probably hit the middle diamond.
Oh yeah,
with the cue ball.
He's got plenty of room.
Spin around, but he can't come out too far because
he might make the 8.
No, he needs to get to the middle of the table at least to shoot the 1.
Look where he's coming.
Well, I see that, but I think he's going to get the 6 thin. But you're right. That cue ball is headed towards the 8. Yeah, he took the care to not put any English on it to avoid the 8, and now he's about as good as he can get. He's going to have to pop this off and maybe bring it back 3, 4, 5 inches to get nice and straight on the 3. I don't think this is how they would have drew this rack up in the textbooks, Bobby.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Look at this.
That's not good. He ain't cutting this in. Why did he go so close to the side pocket? The 10 ball would have been my target.
Yeah.
You know.
This is not a hard bank, but he can't reach it.
He's going to kick it in 2 rails. Yeah, keep laughing, Dennis. Because you need a little something to lighten your mood. Maybe he's going straight at it.
He's going straight at it.
Yeah. 50-50. Maybe a little better. No? Yes? Good shot. That's the way they teach it to you in that, to run that rack. But here's the thing about it, too. He worked his ass off for that game, and he basically had a roadmap.
Starting off.
And he needed that game bad because that was on his own break. John's already got a service break, so if he can hold serve here, he'll maintain his cushion and keep the heat on RoboCop.
Why do they call him RoboCop?
There was a movie called RoboCop some 10, 15 years ago, and the guy was like a machine, no emotion, you know, the character in the movie.
So you're saying Dennis has no emotion?
Usually when he's playing pool, he is quite emotionless, and he plays like a machine.
Well, he plays a great player.
Right,
About
right. And I'm assuming that's the origin of the nickname. When I met him, that's what he was called.
No, he's a great.
Met Dennis also back in 05, 06 when he first came over.
Great player.
Oh, yeah. First time he went to Reno to play at the Sands there, he won the tournament.
Why is not everybody breaking like that? The balls are opening up nice.
Yep.
Cue ball stays in this close to the center.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, this is solids all the way here, Bobby.
I'm shooting the 2 first. Or the 6.
Well, the only thing I don't like about the 6 is where the cue ball might go. I like the 2 to start. I actually like 2. Go ahead.
Did you see me call the 2 first before you say anything?
Well, listen, you know, I can't take all the thunder here. I got to leave you a little tidbit every now and then. Throw you a crumb or two.
Okay,
here's
my
Go
point.
ahead. Give us the pattern.
The 2.
Yeah.
Then the 3. Then the 6. And from there, I'm gonna let you take over.
All right. I like the 2, 3, 6.
Yes.
The 5 is the tough ball. I might float the 6 to the rail, shoot the 5, go past the 10, 1 on the side, and then the 4, and then the 7. Now that's maybe not what he's going to do, and there may be better ways to get to the 5.
He's shooting the 7, and he's going to throw my whole game plan off.
No, I think he's going to shoot the 3 and then the 6.
There you go, John. Don't make me look stupid, buddy. Don't make me look bad.
I mean, he could shoot the 7 and then go to the 3.
I would play the 7 off the 4. You know what I mean? After shoot the 4, then the 7.
Well, those were, you know, the way I planned the second half of the run.
Well,
would have been 6, 5, 4, 7.
Okay, if he shoots a 6 next,
he may be coming back for the 7 here.
No. Okay, so my first half of the rack is correct.
Well, he's only made 2 balls. That ain't half the rack.
3.
The ball and the break don't count.
2, 3, 6. Okay. Now
okay. When he makes
this, we'll see how you've done from here to the second half.
All right.
What would you say?
Well, I said 5-1 next. He may go 4-7, but he has to now.
You don't want to lose your title now, the surgeon.
Shit, you're going to sue me for malpractice if the way this is going. Again, it's just my background is wired in me to get the tough balls off the table as soon as possible.
No, there's no doubt, yeah.
And not that he won't do it. I mean, the 4 does connect to the 5, and the 5 does connect to the 4. So now he's got the perfect angle to get on the long rail.
He'll shoot the 4 next.
No, I'd save the 4 for last because I just wouldn't want to risk an angle on the 5 where I have to bump into a stripe to get on the 8. Where the 4 is a stop shot and the 8 can go in the upper right corner. I think it's definitely the 5 next. But if I'm wrong, I'm turning in my surgical gloves. Yeah, that's real nice. Now he can get the cue ball out in space to shoot the 4 and still have a little bit of an angle.
You were on 1 foul, but you're off now. But you're off the foul. You were on 1, but you're back to 0.
Well, I revived the patient, but then he died.
I 3 fouled Jay yesterday too.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard about that. And you were on 2 a couple times, weren't you?
Yeah.
I just love watching John play. It's the same pace and the same pre-shot and the same routine every ball.
Yeah, he's really smooth.
Well, that's what I nicknamed him that a couple years ago, and like I said, he wasn't. We tried it for a little while, and then he said, "All right, Ken, no more Mr. Smooth stuff."
He's going to draw back for the 8 inside.
I think he might. Well, let's see how thin he is on the 4. Yeah. But he's
hit it real full with low.
Right, he just barely wants to hit the 11. But watch that side pocket over there. I don't think he's going to go that far. Just the other side of the 15 ball. That's not where he wanted to be. I think he felt he was going to hit the 11 a lot fuller and have that 8 on the upper right. Now he's going to back cut it a little bit. But
it's a little bit of an optical illusion type thing here.
Yeah, he's actually got the whole pocket. The 10's not in the way at all, as you can see. I love how slow he draws that cue back. That's a really, really good tip for all you people that are trying to get a little better edge on your game. And I'll tell you, I'll give you a great analogy on drawing your cue back slow to help the transition forward. Think of a baseball pitcher when he winds up. If he brings his arm back real quick, how's he going to get any velocity on the pitch? Same with a quarterback throwing a football. It's a slow backswing to transition to go forward. And when you tend to pull the cue back quick, then you tend to stroke it quick. And that leads to not hitting the cue ball in the precise spot that you want to hit it with. So it's just something well worth trying out in a couple of your practice sessions. And there's Mr. Morra. I think John's probably 26, 27 years old now. But he's going to be around for a long time. Takes great care of himself. Puts in the work. 3-1. Dennis is down. Second ball break again. Watch cue ball. Look at that mess.
He's going. Look at that. Who? Have you ever seen the balls break like that?
Well, that is really unusual to have, 10 or 12 balls in a 2 square foot area and all up here.
Every ball is on the right quarter of the table. The only ball that's not is the 4.
Well, this is another one of those games where there's no reason right now to make a ball and establish a group. How are you going to get out from here?
I think I'd still establish. I would still make something, and just then duck.
And then duck.
Yeah, I'd take this. I would take the solids and then just duck.
Well, the only solid you got really is the 3 of the 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd take the solids and duck.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no 3-foul rule, and if you make one solid and duck here, ball in hand really don't do you a lot of good.
No.
You might open up a few things.
But there's no sense in playing safe. You might as well take something.
Well,
You know?
I see that. I
Yeah.
won't argue with that.
Yeah, I'd shoot something. I don't know what I would take, and I don't think it really matters. But
Well, you got to be thinking ahead too, as how the balls are going to eventually wind up getting opened. He's looking at the 15. Now, Dennis is a real aggressive player. He hates to duck and play safe. I wouldn't be surprised if he brings it back over, try to shoot the 12 up table and draw into him. Might even do it now.
tell you one thing: if he can hit the 5 and 11, the 9 goes.
Well, if he cuts the 12, he's going to open up a lot of those balls because
Yeah.
the 5's going to do that. No, he didn't. He hit the 11. He's got to be careful too, because if he leaves John a shot, eventually John's got the 2 and the 3 sitting real
That's
good
right.
to open that stuff up.
Yeah, he's got to be real careful here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's going to do.
Is there any chance the 9 is available through the gap after this shot? All I can do is roll this in. Missed it. I think he was playing for the 9 in the gap.
The 9 goes.
Yep.
Too.
Well, he missed it about as good as he could because John can't pocket anything except bank to 4. And there's no real advantage to that. He's following straight. I think this is safe.
I like this shot.
Yeah, he wanted to block the 9 from going. Very smart. Because no matter where he left the cue ball, if Dennis could have made the 11, he could have got on that 9. John saw that. Dennis needs to use a lot of patience in this rack. He cannot afford to go 4-1 down because John breaks in the next game.
I know he'd be in big trouble.
Mm-hmm. So he's got to kind of harness his aggression here for an inning or two. He can't bank the 10. The 8's in the way. Not that he'd want to anyway.
The 9 don't go off of anything.
Not now. Well, you can see he can make the 11. And the only... there's no point in making the 11. Wants to move the 9 to a makeable position. He wasn't able to do that. But he knows John's no threat to start running balls here. Just trying to get the 10 out of the way.
You got quite a few people watching, Ken.
Yeah, nice morning crowd here, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger as the day progresses. So we sure hope all of you will be able to stay with us throughout the day and see who wears the crown about 10 o'clock tonight.
I don't know what good that did.
Mm-mm.
He don't have any kind of angle to come in off these balls. He's a huge underdog in this game, in my opinion, this particular game.
Oh, absolutely.
Big underdog. He's really, I mean, I don't see anything. And he can't even move I don't even think he can move these balls.
I think he's playing for a safe here. You know of
what?
course.
I tell you something. If he banks that,
the 9 into the rail into the 1.
it goes.
Yeah, I think
it
so.
It does go. It does go.
Yeah, it does.
And he's going to spin right back out for the 13 straight in.
Yeah, he'd only have to be careful, Bobby, that he don't clip the 13 and it rolls in front of the 6-7 and can't go.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't think he's going to even come close.
He might double kiss the cue ball with the 13 though, and send the cue ball away, and the 13 may not move. But I do like your choice here.
Low
9 off the cushion.
Low left here and draw up toward the side.
Got to catch the 1 kind of thin. Not too much speed.
It's going to be spinning toward the hole.
Yeah, I'd like to see if Vincent can give us John's camera on a close-up here when he actually does go to shoot this. I'd like to see how they react. Very good. Thank you, Vincent. Nice.
But look at this.
Well, that's what I was afraid of, the double kiss on the cue ball,
Yeah.
sending it straight across, because now...
Yeah, I know the 9's going. That was like a hanger.
Right.
Yeah.
Can he bank it by the 7 cross corner?
Let me see. I'll wait till we get back over
Yeah, it looks like it's real tight. It's really the only pocket he's got.
No, doesn't go.
Can't go by the 7,
Nah.
huh? No.
You're going to hit the 3 or the 7. I mean, there's no way to.
Okay.
Yep. He's dead in the water here. He's dead here.
Can he do another trick shot, rail first, off the 7? Off the 6, I mean?
That might be his only option. He's banking across the side, but I don't like that. But
he'll get the cue ball out.
Uh-huh. That's a hard
You
shot.
got to overcut the crap out of this.
Yeah, you do.
It's like that 8-ball Darren made yesterday. A ridiculous back cut. He swished it.
Boy, he hit that ball.
You know.
Good. He hit that ball nice.
That's a Hall of Fame out right there, ladies and gentlemen.
It was. Hell of an out there.
I'll clap for that. Terrific work.
That was a hell of a heck of a shot there.
He did use a lot of patience. And he was rewarded. He showed a lot of knowledge in that rack. Okay, John back to break here in rack number 6. Breaking from the rail. Been very successful so far.
I don't know for the life of me why Dennis don't break like that. pretty much the ball scatters it. Everybody keeps making that one ball straight back in the corner. One of those two balls is going back toward that end, you know.
And Dennis has a powerful break. He really does for a small man. I mean, he breaks 10 ball with his hand on the table on a 9-footer like Shane. He explodes him.
I know he does.
Okay, well, the 8 ball right now has only one pocket. So
he's taking the solids.
He's going to take the solids because of the 11 ball. And the solids still look like they play okay. The 5 would be a nice ball to leave for the ball before the 8. So you're going to clear all that stuff in the kitchen right now. If the 1 goes under the 3, that's the next shot. If he can hold it. I'm not sure he can.
He's going to hit the 4.
Yeah, then play the 3 next. No, that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to move them balls a little around.
Right. Just twist around the 3, same pocket. Nice. 3 and 4, same pocket. And 7, 6, 5 is how I see it. I would not leave the 6 for last. I would want the 5 for last. Because the 6 gets me on the 5 in 3 different pockets. And a stop shot is what I want for the 8.
You're like in dead stroke today. All I can tell you, I can just feel it.
Yeah, but
you're hitting them good
still,
today.
You know, I still got a lot of matches to play today, though.
Yeah.
You know, but I will say this, Bobby, and we've talked about it a little bit. I have really, really enjoyed watching the great players of the world play on the 7-foot tables, 8 ball especially. It showcases their skills, I think, a lot more than on the 9-footers, because they have to maneuver through so much more traffic and create more positions and need the cue ball precision much more so here than you do elsewhere.
Look what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but
he might be shooting the 8 in the corner, the left corner down there.
Well, I just didn't like the 6 as the key ball because of the 11.
You know what? He might come straight across and hit and bump the 15.
No.
Watch.
Off the 6?
No, he can't do it now.
I'd be afraid to touch the 11.
Yeah, I don't.
But evidently there's enough room there to come straight across and touch the 15, or he had never played for this position.
Yeah.
So I think you called it correctly.
You got to be careful here not to get behind on these balls.
Like that, you mean?
Exactly. I mean, what's...
You got a shade to hit that on the other side.
I think he can still hit it.
Yeah, he probably can still make it. But you got a shade to hit that 15 on the other side because then you guaranteed a shot.
Yeah.
But that was the danger, and that's kind of why I thought the 6 wouldn't be last. But it's not going to matter if he gets out. That's all that counts.
What kind of tips he got? Does he have a tip on his cue?
Yeah, it's about a 1/16 of an inch thick.
It's like one layer. What is it?
I don't know. That's a Falcon cue. I don't know what the standard tip is on a Falcon, or if John has a preference. I never have really asked him about that.
You know, years ago, when the pros were real good, they played better when they were real thin.
Oh, yeah.
The pros. And they didn't play as good when they're thick. Now the layered tips play good thick and bad thin. Just the opposite.
Well, nothing much these days mushrooms out anymore. I mean, you know, in the old days, after you put a new tip on it and play for about an hour, the thing looks like a muffin.
You know how many times I sat in a motel room with
Shaping?
my shaft upside down with a razor blade, and all of a sudden, oops.
Off comes the tip?
No, just you gouge it.
Yeah. Take a chunk out?
Oh, it's like, oh, man.
Yeah, well, now they got tips that you can't dent with a jackhammer.
I know. I put on 1,000 tips on my cue throughout the years traveling, because back then nobody had a lathe.
Right.
You know,
right.
all through the 60s and 70s.
They had that little cue repair thing, that little clamp that you'd put over it, about 4 inches long, with a metal ring around it.
I always use a rubber band.
Oh, yeah. I'm putting no metal on my shaft.
You put the rubber band, you wrap it around the shaft, and it tightens up. It holds it on there perfect.
Yeah. All right, John has managed to, keep the heat on Dennis, because he's got Dennis down a service break, which means Dennis must win every time he breaks for the rest of the match, and then hope to win one on John's break to regain the odd game advantage since he won the lag. He's doing it again, Bobby.
Yeah.
I think he's going to hit these with a little more force. He's got to. No, same speed. Ball down, another ball down. And again, a cluster in about the same part of the table, but not as bad as the last rack.
No. You see the ball just roll?
Yeah, that's going to be John's choice to leave it there or move it back. It's no foul. It's accidental movement.
Who moved it? Did he?
Janice moved it when he tried to pick up the magic rack.
Oh, okay.
So it's up to it's accidental movement under cue ball foul rules only. It's not a foul unless that ball hit another ball, and it didn't. John decided to leave it there rather than put it back.
You know, he might shoot. I don't know what he's going to shoot. You got to shoot the 13 and the 9, and the 15, whatever.
Yeah, but
14.
Well, actually, I think you got to come behind here to get the 10 out of there, and maybe drive that 2-3 into those stripes, because you got to eventually open that pocket up.
Yeah.
The other thing is I don't think he's got a solid to shoot unless he can hit the 4 ball.
No, I think he's hooked. Tree stumped. Whatever you call it.
Tree trunked.
Tree trunk.
Yeah, when you're on the side like that, you're trunked.
Oh.
When you're shooting over it, you're tree topped. But I like tree stump, like you said. I'm just trying to figure a situation to use it in.
He's shooting combination.
Well, that's, I forgot all about that. He can play the 2 into the stripe. But the caution he'll have to take is, does the 2 hit the 10, and where's the 2 go? And then he's got them 2 stripes that are still there that won't pass the 7.
Yes.
The ball next to the cue ball will go in the side, and the 12 will eventually go in the side, but how do you get in there? Looks like a war zone out there with mines all around you. This is where you make your money, is making the correct decision after an 8-ball break and a very unfriendly looking layout. The first thing you do here could dictate how this whole rack's going to unfold. You've got to make the right choice. I don't blame him for taking this much time here. There's a lot to figure out. And I honestly don't know what I would do. I think I'd call in the relief surgeon, Bobby.
I know what I would.
The designated surgeon.
I know what I would do.
Well, don't keep it to yourself.
I wouldn't shoot this first. I'd shoot the 13 first.
The only reason
he's shooting the 4.
Yeah. If he can see the 4, the only reason I kind of like that is now the 5 allows him to move the 12 out of the way.
Yeah, I didn't know the ball. I thought he was hooked.
And even so, the 2-3 looks like it'll go in the left corner as a combination if he doesn't run into it here. He could shoot the 6 and draw back. You can see he can get to the 7. This has got all this is got to be real careful where the 12 ball goes if he shoots the 5. I don't know.
I think the 5 skim. I think the 12 skims the 2.
Yeah, I'd be real careful here with that 12 ball. I think I'd want to hit it full in the face if I could. Stay right there. You're right. The 12 did skim the 2, and it screwed the combination up. I wonder if the 3 will pass there, past that 15 in the lower right pocket. Doesn't look it from here. That's what he's looking at. Now, good shot there. Thanks, John. Now the 3 will go. Snug, but it'll go.
I'd roll up and knock the 15 toward the rail. Shoot the 2 straight in the side.
That's the shot. Absolutely.
Just roll up and knock the 15 to the rail, just like that.
Yes, sir. Good call, Bobby.
Thank you. I saw it. It's a hanger. My buddy Andrew Cleary, I say hanger all the time. I say, well, what would you like me to call it? Bet you said hanger 200 times. Well, what would you like me to say?
Well, we all think of a hanger as a ball on the lip, you know, where you're referring to it as like a cookie shot, an easy shot.
An obvious
right. Something pretty hard to miss. Well,
look at this.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, he's good.
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Just stun it over there near the 13 or even follow it for the side. Hurry up. Hurry up.
He's 50-yard line.
Yeah.
He's, what the heck?
Yep. I mean, he can cut it in and he can beat the scratch. That's not an issue. But obviously, you're right. He, like on the 48.5.
No, this is not as easy as it looks. I mean,
well, he won't scratch cross-side because the 9's there.
No, but he's jacked up.
Well, he's got at least a real tip on his cue. That's a Tiger cue and a Tiger tip. I'm not sure. I think it's an Everest. I'm not positive. Might be a sniper. Well, that's 2 really outstanding outs from Dennis in the last 2 racks. He took 2 messy racks and cut through them really, really sporty. And I think he's going to not mind playing a couple of racks like that with John. It's more of a strategy right now than anything else, that second ball break. And so far, it's kept him in the match, and he's put the pressure back on John to hold serve. Oh, it got kicked right in the hole.
I mean,
God, that's cruel.
It just kicked it right.
Oh, and he had it squatted right in the center.
Yeah, that's bad luck.
Well, and Dennis gave him one like that too, but Dennis's break wasn't as solid. John really struck those well.
I'm shooting the 4.
Yeah, especially with the 2 available in the side pocket right there where he is. 4 is absolutely the right shot.
There's no doubt about I'm shooting the 4.
Well, this is okay too, Bobby, because then he'll go 3-4 next.
Yeah, and then have
Because this is the only ball that's up on this end of the table.
I didn't even see that ball.
Yeah.
Well, and he'll be
But
shooting.
you're right. 7-3-4, I like.
Yeah. Just like that.
Might even leave the 2 for the ball before the 8. Yep. Made quick work of this.
Yeah.
Dennis has regained the advantage. John had him 2-0 and 3-1. And now Dennis has tied it up, and he's got the hammer. So he's going to break here in rack number 9. The winner of this match is going to face Rafael Martinez at 2 o'clock, or shortly thereafter if we don't get done on time. And then at 4 o'clock, we're going to bring you the hot seat match between Rodney Morris and Mike DeShane. Winner of that match will go right to the 8 o'clock final. And the loser will play at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
versus the winner of our next match.
There is a 6 o'clock match.
That's the semifinal.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There's Dennis's Tiger Q. That's actually there's 2 models named after Dennis. I think there might be like DO1 and DO2, but they're Dennis Orcollo signature cues. They're the same cue, just with different inlays.
There's a pretty cue there.
Yeah,
it looks the black and green. Wow.
Yeah, it looks like ivory and malachite, ebony.
Yeah,
Can't quite tell if that's abalone or mother of pearl, but that sure is attractive.
Really pretty cue. I like the black ebony cue.
Yeah, it's not overly fancy.
Make every shot count. Introducing the all-new Predator 314 and Z high-performance shafts. Reloaded with new technology for unprecedented accuracy. Predator, engineering victory.
There you saw a nice little spot for Predator too, and of course Predator is the official cue here at the U.S. Opens, and proud to have them as our signature sponsor. But I also think it's interesting to our spectators to know what each player is playing with. It's one of the things I wish I could give a little bit more time to, is finding out the specs of everybody's cue so I could pass it along. I have some, but just not quite
that's
everybody.
A really good idea.
Yeah.
The weight, especially the
weight, the tip size, the tip, the taper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing is the weight and the tips.
Right.
Because people are always, I can't count the times people ask me, what weight do the pros play with? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you'll find the majority of them are playing with 18s and 19s.
Ugh.
Well, I know you're old school. You like a 21, 22, don't you?
My cue is at 21.3.
Yeah.
And it don't feel that heavy. It's not heavy.
Well, it depends on the balance, and how the cue is made. My Scruggs is a 19.2, and it feels a little bit light to me. It's just the balance. But
Billy
I do.
Stroud made my cue when Tim was working there with him in Baltimore.
Uh-huh.
Bought my cue in '74. I bought my cue in 1974. Billy Strata made it. Guess what it cost? 74. 2 shafts.
$125.
No, 240.
Oh, okay.
With 2 shafts, $240.
That's
And that was expensive. That's a high dollar cue.
I bought my first Scruggs in '83. It was $250 with 1 shaft.
I got to tell you how sick this is. I beat a guy named John Henry, also known by Jimbo, out of a Balabushka, early 70s. I sold it for $90. A Balabushka. I sold it for $90. But back then, that's all it was worth.
Well,
I'm telling you.
I sold a '63 Corvette for $500. How smart am I? That thing's $100,000 today. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right, Dennis is shooting the 2 ball in the corner, and he barely snuck it in, but he got there. As you can see, the 7 ball is the ball that he's looking to do something with. And he wanted to do it off the 3. He can't get to the 3 now, but he can after this shot. I wonder if that 7 goes in the left pocket. If the cue ball was where the 3 was. I think the 9's got it, but if it doesn't, it's going to make the rack play a whole lot easier.
It looks like it goes, but I can't tell. Doesn't it? It looks like it goes.
It sure does. I think he's going to go 1-3-7 if the 7 passes.
You know about the 7 ball going in the left corner?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And the 4 is going to be just a littlest bit tricky. Well, now from that angle, he's
he might be shooting 4 right here.
Yeah, I think he is, because it's a tricky ball to get on. And a stop shot right here will set him nicely for the 3. And all of it depends on if the 7 goes. I have a feeling it does, because if it didn't, he'd have to shoot the 3 now and move it.
Yeah.
But I think the 4 is definitely the right shot here. Again, watch how slow Dennis pulls that cue back too. Have to be careful here to pick your angle for the 7.
Just rolled up a little bit.
Right, because you don't want to run into a stripe.
Look at this. He didn't get there.
He's too straight.
He wanted to get past
beyond,
the line.
Right, beyond, yeah.
Now look what he did.
Well, he might be able to snatch it out with low left, Bobby. Just spin it out about a foot. Unless he's cutting it to his right, where draw will take him into the stripe.
Wow.
He could always follow soft and get behind the 5.
He might not have a choice.
Yeah, that's what he's looking at. Yeah, just as we thought. Had a soft roll behind the 5, but this is fine. Just go up about 2 feet. Well, after a couple of sloppy opening games by Dennis, he has certainly displayed why he is the champion that he is, and
he finally takes the lead.
One of the top 2 or 3 players on the planet.
You know, it's weird when they say that, because I know there's like hundreds of other Asian players all over everywhere that are supposed to play perfect. So how do they figure he's the top 2 or 3?
Well, I think
of the known players.
Well, it's partially rankings, through the WPA. Dennis plays all over the world. But I think the other thing too, Bobby, when we say that, is we're saying it relative to the people we see all the time. Because as you say, I'm sure there are great, great, great players in other nations.
Like I heard there's like a lot of good players in Taiwan.
Well, of course there are, and in Europe as well. And we've been so blessed to have such a crop of talented, great champions now. I mean, you take guys like Dennis, like Shane, like Darren, Torsten, Alex, Mika, Niels Fine. At any given point in time, you can interchange them in the top 5 in the world.
Well, I tell you, I think it's the best 10-ball player on the big table, the 2. In my opinion, I've watched a lot of guys and played a lot of guys.
All right, who else besides Shane?
I think, without a doubt, is Koping Yi and Koping Chang.
Yeah, well, you were really impressed with them last year here, as I was, and I've gotten to see both of them play several times. I actually reffed some of their stuff when Koping Yi was winning 2 junior world championships. We had him in Reno. I saw him as a 15, 16-year-old, and you knew he was just destined for greatness. John didn't like that magic rack. He's going to get the other one. There's 2 in use here, and it seems Dennis likes one and John likes the other, even though you can't really tell them apart. But, the point of the discussion of who's number 1, I mean, that's basically at a given point in time. And, of course, they don't all play each other in the same number of events. It's not like tennis where they're, the same people are in the tournament every month, or golf where there's, a way to measure it.
Yeah,
I wish we had a more solidified, worldwide ranking system where you almost, can only get points to play by playing in certain events, and that's kind of the case right now. But it's expensive to go all over the world to play pool.
Yeah. I watched that Koping Yi play 2 years ago or whenever. Wow, man, I'm telling you, good grief. Got breaks the balls.
Last year, he did the 10-ball challenge match with Shane, raced to 21, and he won like the last 6 games. They ran him out to win.
Yeah.
All right, John. No bad kicks here.
Yeah, kicked him right straight in the
corner.
corner.
It cost him 2 racks. Same place. Something went in.
If he can play the 7 off this 12, it might be the. I don't know. Forget about it.
I think he's too close to it.
Yes,
it's too thin.
I looked at it.
But he could play the 1 and the 2 and then do it if he wants to take the solids.
I think I would take the solids though, Ken, because. What do you think?
I like the solids only because there's a lot of space around them to maneuver the cue ball. And as you said, the 1 tough ball, the 7, looks like it'll go in off the 13, not even the 12.
It also goes in the corner, straight in down there.
Right. And he's got a nice opening shot on the 1. He's looking at the 5 ball, but that has the side pocket as well. He's also looking at this 3-ball stripe combination because it's pretty well lined up.
It's pretty close. Going into the long rails. Close, huh? No, I guess it's wired.
Well, he's got to hit as we're looking the right side of the 14.
That's also good.
Watch where that ball goes. Okay. He managed to control that ball, and that was the key to that shot. The 9's going to be just a touch tricky. He's taking a look to see if it passes the 1. If not, I think you shoot the 11 in the upper left and the 9 in the same pocket.
There's
lots of ways he can go about this.
I'd shoot the 15 first.
I think he wants to save that for, I think the 14-15 might be towards the end. Again, watch the slow backswing and the hesitation. Nice.
Yes, he hit it really nice. I think he's going to shoot the 13 next. Just move that 6 out of the way just a little bit.
It better only move a little bit.
Yeah, just right toward the rail. You know what I mean? Just move it just about an inch away.
I think he's going to shoot the 9 in the side first.
Oh, yeah.
I think he'd rather be straight in on the 13 and to draw into the 6 ball. He doesn't want to do it with this angle. And
oh, no, he's shooting the 9 first.
Oh, you're saying the next shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the 9 first, and then the 13 just barely. He don't even have to move the 6 because the 14 goes.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You don't want to move the 6
knowing
ball.
you, he shouldn't even touch it.
Wait, no.
Right?
Not if you don't have to.
Use the 8 for a break shot.
There's Dennis. Now he's kind of refocused back in the match, paying close attention.
He's shooting the 14. No, he's not shooting.
No, he's doing what you said.
He got on the wrong side of the 13.
Yeah, I almost like here, shoot the 13, draw a foot, and then shoot the 14, stay there, and nudge the 12 in the side and stay there for the last stripe.
Yeah, he got on the wrong side of the ball. He wanted to.
I wouldn't want to hit anything too hard here. That's fine. That's even better now that he could do that. That's a little weak there, Johnny.
He wanted to move by another 4 or 5
Yeah,
inches.
as long as he can see it, he's okay. But he came dangerously close to not being able to make this ball.
Yeah, that
See,
was.
now it's thinner than he wanted it to be because he wants to be straight in on the 13.
I know, yeah.
You don't want to flirt with either solid to draw out for the 8.
Well,
And he kind of let up on that last stroke. Now he's going at the 5. He's going to have to hit this on the. He's going to have to just hit it on the fat side and spin off the middle diamond. I think he can get there.
He's going to miss the 5. He's going to go behind it.
Yeah.
Just like
But
that.
you could see he shot that to the long rail side of the pocket, which means you hit the ball fuller and you get a different angle of deflection with the cue ball. Right where it is now.
Did you wash your hands before surgery?
I wore gloves.
Okay.
And then I washed my hands. He did his job. He needed that, but he's still going to need a turnover from Dennis here in order to have a chance to
We're down.
pull even and
It's
go
like
ahead.
a race to 4 now. Well, we'll see how Dennis breaks again. He's had a pretty good couple of breaks from the side with the last couple of racks. Oh, this is nice here.
Dennis with the ball down. Wide open table. Certainly you would prefer the solids here simply because of the 15 ball next to the deuce. Nice opening shot on the 3 to get started. Well, as we suspected, he went for the solids. Didn't he? You know, you might normally think, well, the 7 is a nice key ball for the 8. But I actually think the 5's a better ball to get to the 8. I mean, you could shoot the 7 for last and play the 8 in the same pocket. I just think the 5 gives you a lot more real estate. So let's see what he thinks, because that's all that really matters. No matter how good we play up here in the booth, they don't pay us the way they pay those guys. I don't know. Maybe the 4 on the side next. And the 6-7. A lot of ways to do it. Kind of like the 4 on the side next, but he's obviously got a different plan. And now he's pretty much got to shoot the 5 ball. Can he get through there to the 6? We'll see in a second. Dennis is such a great shot maker. It's sometimes very difficult to predict what he's going to do. But I do think he's going to have to play the 7 ball now. If he plays the 5, he's going to run into the 10, and then he's going to have to shoot the 4. And you sure don't want to do that and connect to the 7. Kind of looks like he might have to play the 7 and come 2 rails to the middle of the table. But then the transition from the 4 to the 8 isn't easy. So he's kind of made this a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. And evidently he thinks that this is the way to go, so he'll just bunt this in. And I guess he wasn't going at the 10. That definitely makes it easier. And it will be 7 and 8 for the last 2 in the same pocket. You can see Dennis has his cue directly under his chin, which is the conventional way that most of us are taught to play. So 6-5 now. And once again, John forced to break and run to keep the heat on Dennis and force him to do the same thing. Beautiful break. Ball is down. Cue ball middle of the table. Nice opening shot on either group. The 8 does not have many pockets as it sits. Obviously, it's surrounded by 5 stripes, so your first thought would be to take the stripes. And he's looking at the 9 ball, as you can see, to see if it goes by the 2. He sure has the 15 to begin with. But if he can slide that 9 in and play the 11 in the other corner pocket, that will unlock the door probably for the rest of the round. We're going to do a little quick commentator switch here. Bobby Cotton had to go a little bit before his cutoff time, which was in another 20 minutes or so. So I've got my partner Jay back in here with me. Good morning, Mr. Jay.
Hey, Kenny. How you doing, man?
All right.
So I heard the bad news about Shane, but
yeah,
that kind of thing happens.
It happens. It happens even to the best of them.
It seems like it happens to all of them at least once, and then they never forget.
Yeah. Well, in all the years I've been covering Shane, that's the first time I've ever seen him
you and me both,
read a chart wrong or miss a match.
He did read it wrong.
Yeah.
And normally Shane is here
an hour
30
or two.
Yeah, a long time before the match hitting balls.
Well, Jay, I came down about 9:20, and by 9:30, when I didn't see Shane here, I had a suspicion something was up. But it took us a while to
contact him. He was sound asleep.
Yeah, to reach him. Yeah.
Listen, if he's sleeping and his hearing aids are off, then forget about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we are. Very good match.
Have you been watching much of this match, Jay?
Just the last few games.
Okay. Well, Dennis started out in a 2-0 hole, and he played a little ragged, and then John got a bad kick in on a break shot, broke him beautifully, got the cue ball kicked in, and that kind of jump-started Dennis. And Dennis has made a couple of superb outs with really messy racks that he created himself with a second ball break. We had like 10 balls clustered to the right of the triangle. And there was a little safety battle, but Dennis has really been surgically precise on some of these outs, and now Dennis won the lag too, so John has to win this rack to keep the heat on Dennis.
Well, what I've seen, like the last 3 games, they both look like they're playing very good.
Well, they are. I mean, John hasn't really missed anything. His only mistakes have been one dry break, I think, and one scratch on the break, which was a brutal kick-in.
You know, Kenny, John has been a really good player for about 5-6 years. I think he's only 26 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
But in the last year or so, he's emerged as a great player. And one of the things I see, I don't see any player with more focus and concentration shot for shot than this guy right here. I never see him have a lapse in concentration.
Yeah, that camera shot, by the way, once again will accentuate how far to the left John's cue is under his left eye. But I do want to reiterate what you just said, and what an excellent observation that is. And I'm going to tell you when I think the turning point was for him, Jay. He's always been on the verge, of stardom. When he won the 2012 Derby City Bank Pool Championship,
right,
I think that was the trigger that unlocked the door for him to know in his heart that he could be a world championship level player, because he went through a world championship field. Okay, it's bank pool, they only play it once a year, but there's only been a handful of guys that have done that. And I also agree with you, and I was even talking to Bobby Cotton about it. I said, one of the things I love about John Morra and his game is over every shot, no matter how simple or difficult it is, it's the same pre-shot routine, the same patience, the same focus, the same pace, and that's what you were alluding to. So you couldn't be more right on the button.
Yeah, Kenny, we've been watching for 10 days here, and we've seen almost all the great players miss an easy shot or miss easy position. And when that happens, we know it can't be physical. It has to be mental.
It's concentration.
Yeah, it's concentration. And this is a guy that I just don't see have any mental lapses. Doesn't mean he won't miss a hard shot, but it's not because he had a lapse in concentration.
Mm-hmm.
This is tight right here.
Yeah. Well, he looked at this ball at the beginning of the rack, and he almost started with this ball, knowing that it was going to be tight, but he was too far away from it to risk it. And now he solved the puzzle. Stop shot here, 8 in the corner, 6-6, Dennis breaking.
Boy, they're both playing good. They're both playing like a guy that wants to win, I'll tell you. This is, the last day, it's like Shane said once to the tournament to me, we were talking about, matches on the final day. He said, today is payday.
Yeah.
Because today is, these guys go from where they're guaranteed $22.50 to have a chance for $11,000. So every match is worth thousands now.
Right. But you know what? Not 1 second of today will any of them spend thinking about that. They're not thinking about the money. They're thinking about the title. Then when you hand them the check, of course, they're thrilled. Mm-hmm. But you can't play this game and be thinking about what you're going to win. You got to focus every ball, every game, every rack.
Well, the great players are thinking about winning the title. Right. They're thinking about winning. Guys that are not so great are kind of get satisfied. They say, I'm in the Final Four. Wow, this is great.
Yeah.
And this guy racking the balls, he's one of the great closers in pool. Let him smell the finish line, and he is really tough to beat.
Oh,
I put him in a category with guys like Darren Appleton and Shane and Thorsten.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Alex.
Yeah, Alex. They're quality players that if they get a chance, they'll win a tournament. They know how to finish off matches.
Yeah, there were a couple of times this week in both the 8-ball and the 10-ball where opponents had Dennis down, so in one case down 3 or 4 games. And you don't get many opportunities to put the guy away. And if you don't, he's probably going to come back and bite you.
he makes as many comebacks as anybody I've ever seen because he never gives up. He keeps trying no matter what. Well, I kind of like that he's breaking this way because his break yesterday was not effective.
Jay, I think he changed. He broke head on the first couple of racks, didn't do well, scratched once. When he went to this second ball break here, I think he did it by design to change the strategy of the match and not have roadmap runouts if he broke dry. And he was willing to play a couple of defensive games with John, and he got the best of John in both of those games because he had the patience to wait for an opening.
Yeah, what I saw yesterday, he couldn't make a ball on the break. And now I see he's making balls. And if he makes a ball on the break, he's got a real good chance to run out. Like right now.
All right, well, let's see.
Stripes, solids, what do you think?
Well, first glance is I like stripes. Pretty much because of the 1-6 or the 1-7, even if it's a dead combination. I think you've got more maneuverability with the stripes. At the same time, if you take the stripes, you'll open up 2 pockets for the 8-ball. And the other thing is, he's got opening shot on the solids easier than an opening shot on the stripes.
Yeah,
so that's another factor here, is what to begin with.
Yeah, the only problem I see with the solids is that 1 and 7 ball together.
Yeah, but
spot.
the 1 will certainly go in the side where the 6 ball is, and once that's out of the way, the 7 goes in the other side. Well, no, it doesn't. The 15's in the way.
Well, the 1 will also go in the lower left corner. I think he's going to start with his 14 ball.
I think so too.
Yeah. See, the 9 goes.
Right. And shooting the 15 with a stop shot gets you to the 9. All the stripes have pockets. All the solids don't.
Exactly. Probably the most difficult. Well, he's got to get good position on the 11. He's got to get good position on the 12. But they're both doable. Now he's looking because he just wants to make sure the 12 will go down in the other corner.
Yeah, it will. Well, the 10 will get him there too, Jay, for the 12.
I'm not sure why he was looking, but he was just wanted to make sure that it will pass. Key shot, first shot of the rack.
He came for the 9. He came too far. He's going to have to play the 10.
He could play the 10, or is that the 14?
Yeah, but I don't know that there's any need to play the 14 right now. You might eventually want to play it in the side.
Probably one of the reasons he might consider the 14 is he could slide over for the 12 now.
Yeah, but he could shoot the 10 on the side and get there.
If he's got the right angle.
He could tap the 8 a little bit too, and keep the cue ball right there.
Well, he's got a little angle on the 10. I'm not sure that he wants to shoot it that soft, but obviously he could shoot either one of these balls.
Right. Well, the whole thing is the position on the 9, but you know what? I mean, the 9 is makeable from in between the 10-12 area.
You know what? He didn't look at now I think he hasn't looked at the 11-9 combination, which is a possibility. But no,
yeah, but then the 11's going to the cushion, and
not if you hit it slow.
But if you hit it slow, where's the cue ball going?
Well, he'd have to shoot it would be. He'd only have the 14 left if he shot that shot. I don't know. It's again. Situations like this, it's now he's looking at that combination. It's what's your preference? He studied 3 different options.
Well, I was going to say, Jay, yeah, sometimes there's so many different ways to do it. It takes you a while to plan them all out. Well, now he's doing what you had suggested earlier, was back cutting the 14, but I don't think he likes it. He don't like anything.
Thank you. I was just thinking that he can't make up his mind. He's considered all 3 options, and his last option was the combination, which now it looks like he's going to shoot. Well, I'm wrong.
This is a double bluff. He's bluffed us on the 15, and he's bluffed us on the combination. I think he's going to still wind up shooting the 10.
He's back to the 10.
Well, I think that
was
his first instinct, and usually that's what you wind up going back to when you can't make up your mind.
Yeah, tap. Oh, that was interesting. He played it off of the 6 ball. Pretty smart.
Yeah.
Ken, neither you nor I thought of that.
No.
I mean, you said the 10 ball, but we did. That's the way he held the cue ball.
Right.
That really worked. Did he get to the 11?
Yes.
Okay. If he got to the 11.
Oh, he solved it.
Yeah.
He solved the puzzle.
He's good now. Well, what we're seeing is the pitchers are holding their serve. Because, I mean, I've watched 4 racks and every one's been a break and run. This match probably will be decided by one mistake by one of the players. It could be a scratch on the break, an empty break, or maybe just a missed ball.
Well, I think that's already happened, Jay, because John was ahead 4-2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
oh yeah, I came in when Dennis won the game to come to 4-3. He was running out when I came in.
That's right. And then in the next game is when John broke and had the cue ball get badly kicked in after a beautiful break where he squatted the cue ball right in the middle of the table. Dennis was able to get out there at 4-4, and then he's broke and held his serve ever since. So has John, but that's what's allowed Dennis to maintain the 1-rack lead.
Well, one of the things that we've noticed in watching these 2 tournaments the last 10 days is that the cue ball does get kicked in a little bit more often on a small table just because I guess the pockets are closer.
Well,
is that Brandon Shuck? It can't look like him.
Well, that's also, too, Jay, because there's just too many collisions.
So much traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's rare that we see a break shot where the cue ball doesn't get kicked somewhere. And I think you were the one that pointed out, and I began to notice it, is that the cue ball often ends up on the top rail because it gets kicked down table. It seems like half the breaks the cue ball ends up on the top rail.
Yeah.
Like right there.
Yeah.
Can John answer with a break and run of his own?
Well, he essentially has to. He can't afford to lose this rack and have Dennis breaking on the hill.
His break is a little more conventional in this tournament. Hand on the rail.
See the cue ball?
Yeah.
He's put it there almost every time, except for the one time it got kicked in that upper left corner. And he
did make a ball.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a peek.
Look at this spread.
You would think stripes because initially, because there's not a real good solid to open with.
You know what I see when I look at this rack? I see no clumps of balls, everything spread out. That to me is a beautiful break shot, and the cue ball out in the open.
Right.
He's got those 2 stripe balls down by the corner pocket, but I think they go.
Well, I think he can get, if he can get on the cushion there, he can make the 10. He can make the 10 rail first. He can go into him here. I think he's actually going into him. Yeah, he needed to move one of them, but
that's a little tricky there.
He's lucky he can make the 12 down here.
Yeah, that's a hard shot, though, because he's got a cue right over the top of the 10, and he's got to cut the 12.
Right.
This is not where he wanted to be.
No, but the good thing about it, Jay, is he's real close to the object ball, and the cue ball's going to glance off the 1, and if it doesn't even hit the 1, he's going to have another shot.
This is a testy little shot.
Yeah, the advantage he's got, too, Jay, is he'll bridge on the rail, which will help the elevation of the cue stick. See that?
Help. He didn't want this shot.
No, but I think he'll make this.
Yeah.
He did.
Boy.
Swish. Never even touched the cushion.
Well, he made it look easy.
Yeah. Well, bridging off the rail helped him quite a bit there. You see guys, a lot of times when they push out for jump shots, they want to push the cue ball near the cushion to get that added elevation on their bridge hand.
That's a very good observation. I'm glad to hear you say that. You get your hand up on the rail like that, and your hand is essentially like, what is it, an inch and a half higher.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially a smaller stature player can take advantage of that quite a bit.
I wish you'd have told me this 30 years ago, Ken. Because I'm a smaller stature player, by the way.
In height only, not in ability.
I had to tell you, in all the years I played pool, I never really thought about that. I mean, of course, I played position that way, but I never really thought about what is the advantage.
Sure.
You got a future as a commentator. Do you know that? And I have a past.
Yeah, but I can't write books the way you do.
You don't want to. I mean, I come to a tournament. I got to tell you again. I come to a tournament like this, and I run into players, and they say, "Well, how come you didn't put me in your book?"
Right?
I swear.
I know. They feel offended.
Yeah, I say.
And then you have to tell them, "Well, you're not old enough. I don't remember." You had to play. You had to play in the 50s through the 70s.
Yeah, whatever, you know.
Uh-huh.
I picked the experiences that were the most interesting, and a lot of these guys who I've known for years, I don't have any one experience that's outstanding that I want to write about. But I don't tell them that. Of course, now they know I just said it.
Well, the entire pool community has really enjoyed Pool Wars and now Volume 2. And
yeah, more Pool Wars.
Yeah.
Kenny, I brought 16 copies because, they're heavy. 16 copies of the book is 10 pounds. And so I brought only 16 copies. They were gone in about 4 days. And now what I do, if you walk up to me at the tournament, I say, give me your address and give me $20 and I'll mail you a copy. But you can get, out there, I'll put a plug in. Go to jhelfert.com if you want a copy. But thank you, Ken. Look at this. John is, he's just worked his way through this rack and made it look easy, and it wasn't.
Well, he's got a little bit of an issue now. If the 9 passes the 7, or the 6, in this corner, then he's going to be fine. And if it doesn't, he's got to play the 9 and come around for the 14. Got to thread the needle here.
Got to get past the 3, right? If he's going around that way.
Oh, for sure.
Looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, that's really sweet control there. All right, nothing tricky here. Just take the little longer shot on the 8. I think he's full enough on this to just pinch it. Might go 6-8 inches.
Well, I've watched 7 games now, and I haven't really seen either player get out of line. But like you said, Dennis has got the advantage if they keep trading games.
Yeah, John needs a turnover by Dennis, either a dry break or a miss. More likely to get a dry break than a miss or a position error.
It's really something to see these guys play where most of us that have played a lot of small table 8 ball are used to games where there's back and forth, there's safety play, yet we watch these guys and it's like all break and runs, and if for some reason they don't run out, then the opponent runs out in 1 inning.
Yeah, these are 1- and 2-inning games.
It is definitely a higher level of play. Look at that score, 7-7, race to 9. This match is worth a guarantee of at least $1,000 more. The loser of this match will tie for 5th, $2,250. The winner is guaranteed $3,250. And the next match moves them up to $4,500. And of course, first prize, $11,000. Somebody's going to win it today. We got waiting in the wings, Mike DeShane and Rodney Morris. They'll be playing the hot seat match. I don't think that match is for a couple hours yet. 4
o'clock.
So the next match, I guess, is
the winner of this against Raphael.
Oh, okay. So that'll be the match deciding 3rd and 4th
That's
place.
the 3rd, 4th place, right. And then they'll play the hot seat, and then the loser of the hot seat will play the winner of the Raphael match.
Okay. And then we get the final match, which is a race to 11. And that's scheduled to go off at 8 o'clock this evening.
Correct.
So we got a full day on tap.
Speaking of full, we're approaching a full house here around the Predator Arena, and they're starting to fill the bleachers up too. And it's just going to continue that way throughout the day, Jay. I'm sure we will be close to SRO here by 6 o'clock.
Are you like me a little surprised to see Raphael go so deep in this tournament?
I am, because I haven't been aware that he's been playing that much over the last couple of years. You know, he used to be around Hard Time Sacramento for quite a number of years, and then he drifted back off, I think, to Houston and elsewhere and Northwest. And I only see him like here, Derby, and U.S. Bar Table.
Yeah, he's stayed pretty much in the Northwest, although I have seen his name as a first or second place in regional events.
Yeah, but not.
But you know he won the 8-ball challenge here a few
Yes,
days
I
ago.
know. Yeah.
He beat Warren in the finals. That was worth $3,000. You know, that had to do wonders for his confidence.
Yeah, and his pocketbook.
Well, that's it. When your pocket's full, your arm's a little looser.
Right. Not quite as much pressure on you.
Yeah.
All right.
There's John Lehman coming out to remove that triangle. He does it the easy way, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm too old school. I'm going to use the ball marker because I want to make sure I put it back exactly where it was.
You and me both, but you know.
But the players are fine with us doing it that way too. You know, unless there's a ball right next to it or something that could, change a little bit if you didn't get it exactly right.
Well, I realize in watching John do it, you only have to pick that ball up like a 50th of an inch, just that.
Yeah, about the thickness of the magic rack.
Yeah, exactly, and then it slides out. So it's not like you're picking the ball up in the air.
No,
yeah.
But I'm too paranoid about dropping the ball. Picking it up like that, it slips out of my fingers, and now like I mess up 16 balls.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm using the ball marker.
Yeah, well, I probably would too.
Yeah.
I probably would too. So anyway, let's see.
All right, this is a little complicated here. Let's see what his approach is going to be. I think we'll know a lot about how he's going to attack this after this shot.
He's got pockets for all balls,
yeah,
though.
all the balls do go. It's the ball next to the spot that he needs to get rid of quickly. It's the 13. I don't think he can shoot it now because of the angle.
Well, I think he's going to shoot this 14 ball. Is that what it is, the 14 or the 15 there?
Well, it's the
stripe.
It's the 14, but the angle on it, if he draws, he's drawing at the 2, and if he goes forward, he's going forward at the stripes. He might be able to get in there in the gap and swing around for the 11 in the side near the cue ball.
It looks like
and
that's
then
what he's doing.
And then the 13 before the last ball that's in front of the side pocket, which is the 14.
He doesn't want to bump that
right.
7 ball.
I think this is 2 rails for the 11 in the side. What's this?
Ooh, he fell short. He killed the ball.
Wow.
Now he's going to have to shoot this 13 all the way up in the corner. Look at this. He didn't waste any time, Ken. He got that right down on it.
Yeah, he's playing with the regular Dennis confidence now. He ain't going to miss this.
And he didn't. He hit it right in the heart of the pocket.
He was walking before it got there.
He's teasing us. He's giving us something to talk about. I mean,
well, he's done everything perfect since about rack number 2.
And he's going to go to the hill first.
Yep. And now John must break and run.
And even if he breaks and runs the way Dennis is playing, it may not save him.
You're right.
You know, you think in a match like this, there's got to be one more twist or turn to it. But so far, it's just break and run.
Mm-hmm.
Serve and win, serve and win. They're like 2 champion tennis players serving hard at each other. You know, I was talking to John yesterday about his father, Mario, and he said he still plays a little bit. And I asked John, I said, did you ever play snooker? He said, yeah, when I was a kid growing up, I was a good snooker player. I said, have you ever thought about getting back into it? He said, not really. He said, it's too late.
Yeah.
He's 26 years
No,
old.
you got to start that in your teens.
Well, he was playing when he was in his teens.
Yeah, but you got to stay with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's
you know, his father was a high-level player.
Oh, I know.
His dad played the tour in Europe.
I know he did. And occasionally Mario will play in a tournament like Turning Stone. I've seen them both play Turning Stone together, and
like Ernesto and Oscar.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they matched up once or twice, but Mario is also just a wonderful man. A lot of fun to be around. All right, John, squat that rock and drop a ball. We won a case game. He did it.
Ball's down. See, look, it got kicked down there, but he's okay. He's got the 11. He's got the 9 on the side. Although I would think that if he's going to take stripes, he'll start with the 11. You don't want to have to go back down there for. Oh, look at the 10
Actually,
ball. The 10 ball's a problem.
I'd shoot the 10 right now if I could.
It's tight. He's going to look at it. Watch. He's going to come around and look at it.
Of course he's going to look at it.
Yeah, you're right. If it goes, man, shoot it now. Now all of a sudden the stripes are wide open.
Well, there's another possibility here, Jay. It looks like he's got a little angle on the 11 to draw into the 10 if he had to, and just, tap it enough.
I don't like that. He can't see enough of it.
He'd have to twist the cue ball just a little bit there, and I don't think he wants to do that.
Certainly not for his opening shot. So now
the only reason, solids are fine, but he doesn't have a good opening shot on a solid other than the 3 ball.
Yeah, he's going for the 3.
And
he's taking solids.
I don't blame him, because he's got plenty of room to make that 5. Bounce out.
He's there. He got there. Probably turn around and shoot his 7 ball because he's so close to it. Does he want to bridge over it?
I think he's going to shoot the 1. I mean, you could shoot the 7, but I like the 1-2, which connects me to the 5. And the 7 will be the ball to carry me down here for the 6, Jay.
Yeah, the 7 is not a problem. I thought it might impede his bridge, but it does not.
Just draw back about 6 inches. And that's perfect because the cue ball's running right at the 10 now, but he doesn't want a big angle. And he also wants the 10 out of the way so it doesn't impede the cue ball. He may not even go near the 10. He may just draw it out and cut the 5. Uh-oh. Oh, John, you didn't do that. You didn't do that.
There's
Jay,
the error I was talking about.
You just mentioned the twist and turn. I don't think he can hit the 4 ball either, Jay. No, not to make it. I don't think he can make that 4 ball. I think the stripes got him 4 ball hooked.
Dennis Orcollo called John Lehman out to watch this shot.
Well, sure, and I don't blame him. Now, one of the things as an official that you do have to watch here, let's say he shoots the 4 and that 15 ball moves as we're looking to the right, like it rocks a little bit. It doesn't necessarily mean he hit that ball first, because once the cue ball gets out of the way, depending on how it rolled together, it could just be the ball,
Let me ask you
rolling.
something, Ken.
Yes.
Excuse me for interrupting you.
It's
The
all
ball
right.
on the bottom rail, is that the 6 ball?
Yes, it is.
You know what? The safety I see is kick 1 rail and just roll up against the 6.
And again, that's possible, but before he would do that, he'd have to make sure the 6 wasn't frozen to the rail.
Well,
because if he ran,
let's assume that he's going to do that.
Well, but if he ran right on top of it, and it was, that wouldn't do him any good.
Okay, I'm assuming that it's not.
Okay,
but,
and I see that, but do you want to let Dennis at the table with a look at anything?
Well, he's not going to do any good kicking at that 5 ball.
Oh no, he's not going to kick at the 5.
Now he's looking at this shot. Well,
yeah, but the 8 takes up a lot of space.
He's calling the 6 ball.
Yeah, but he's got to bend the cue ball around it because of the 8. Unless is he thinking of cutting the 4 over there, Jay?
Oh, you know what, Ken? I
Or
think he
banking
can't.
the 4?
I think he can't kick at the 6 ball because the 8 is in the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So he's got to shoot at the 4.
You can't.
Basically,
how do you cut this 4 over there? It's like a 90-degree cut.
Ken, he's blown the match here. That's what I say. I mean, his chances of doing something here are like 1 in 100. I'm not even sure what he's shooting at. Is he trying to kick with inside English and hit the 4? What did he call?
I think he's going behind the 8. He's going to have to draw the cue ball, and he's called a 6.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he's got to draw the cue ball to straighten it out.
Yeah. He might miss the whole ball. Well, he didn't make a bad hit.
Yeah, look where the 6 is going. It's going to mess Dennis's 10 ball up. However, Dennis has 2 balls near the 10 to break that open, and he's got the 12 ball to start with.
He might do it right here. Wait a second. The 12 won't go past the 4.
No, he shoot the 12 in the corner, and then he can either come for the 9 to get on the 15 to open them, or he can get on the 9 to get on the 13 to open them. Either way, when he opens them, he's got to hit it with some speed. He's also got the 11 down there as well, as maybe some extra insurance. I mean, that was kind of a cold roll for John to run up against that ball and get hooked on both solids.
Well,
but at the same time,
he hit it.
He put it. Yeah,
that ain't a bad roll.
Yeah, he put
played
it
bad
there.
Position.
He put it there. He should have taken maybe just a touch.
He had a lot of room to play position where he didn't come close to that ball. He just overhit it a little bit. He rolled like 2 inches too far.
Yeah, he needed a little more caution there.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's going to take the 9, go down for the 11, and use that to break the balls out. Now, listen.
I like a different path. I like this first.
Okay.
And then break them out where the 9's my insurance ball.
Let me tell you something. This is things can go wrong here when you break out balls like this.
Right,
but the good news is he's got the 13 and the 9 as insurance balls.
Oh, I'd break them off the 13, Jay. I'd go behind them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
You want to force them out.
You're
and
right.
now you got the 9 guaranteed for insurance.
And you got the 11.
You might even draw right into the 6.
Yeah,
but it's going to.
The 11 ball is the other insurance ball. Then.
But you got to do it with a little force.
He's okay.
Oh, he's better than okay. I think he's golden. If the 10 passes,
it does.
It does. Plays the 11. You can run into the 6. Tap, tap, tap. Shake hands.
Yeah, this is that error in position by John Morra is going to cost him this match.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what would have happened had it gone to a case game, but it's not.
We're not going to know.
We're not going to know is right. That'll be part of the unfinished chapter.
Well, it looks like he wants. Why not just shoot the 10 ball and roll up past the 6? I'm not really sure why he's looking at the 9.
I think so.
Oh, maybe he's just looking for the angle.
Well, you could play the 9 and stop and be fine.
No, he's shooting the 10.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying when you get on the 9, I mean, a stop shot on the 9 and you're on the 8. You don't have to do anything here.
He's going to roll down and shoot the 8 in the other corner like that. He got on it. This is for the match.
Well, it's a shame that John had to go out that way.
Well, we both would have liked to see a hill match, but good tournament for John Morra. 5th and 6th place. Dennis going to play back with Raphael next.
All right, everybody, give us roughly 10 odd minutes or so. Let Raphael get loose and coming in.